Vincent and I'm an aeromodeller and an engineer. Join me on a fascinating journey where I show you some of the techniques used in scale aeromodelling. We're going to continue today with the Auster seats that I've been covering for the last few videos. Today I'm going to do some airbrushing. So the technique I'm going to show you today is pre-shading. This is where you use either a black or a dark colour into the shadowy areas and the areas that would capture some detail before you put the final colour on. So I'm going to pre-shade with black, although I could use a dark red, but I'll try black first. So we'll pre-shade one back, let it dry, and then we'll have a go at putting the red on top of that. I'm going to use some matte red at first, and then I can always bring it up to a satin with a clear coat of some sort or other. We have to be very careful with this because these are foam, and we can't use any accelerants or any thinners or anything that may dissolve the foam and undo everything we've done. So here we go. Let's get cracking and load the airbrush, fire up the compressor and see how we go on. So first of all, I'm just going to give some NATO black a quick stir. See, it feels pretty good actually. I used some recently on the inside of the cockpit, so it had a good stir not long ago. I tend to like to use the Tamiya colours neat. Don't really need any additional thinning, not in my experience. So we'll put some black in here and we're not going to need very much of this. Okay, I'm back with you. Airbrush is reloaded. We're going to go a little bit heavier this time because this is just a straightforward airbrushing job. Seeing as I've mixed up this extra paint, I may as well use it.
I'll put it on. So you should work from one end so that you're spraying over the top of all your overspray. And that's the theory. Well, that didn't last long, did it? Well, I'm not going to worry about that too much because that was covered anyway. Okay, so there you go. Just got to clean the brush out and let that lot dry for a little while. The red, I've decided to go for gloss because I'm not sure how I'm going to gloss it up otherwise. So we'll try it anyway, we'll see what happens. So I've thinned the what remains in a small jar of gloss red. So we're going to try that first, to see how we get on. Okay. So we'll see how this pre-shading works as well. With a bit of luck it'll just show darker along the edges. There again, might not work at all. I'm still going to have to figure out a way of shining it up because it's not coming out very shiny. But we'll see how it goes. If it dries like that, that would be brilliant. But I doubt it will. Put a bit more red in here. I may not have enough red to do this, and I may have to resort to waiting for some more to arrive. I have got some on order. However, I think you can see the effect the pre-shading is having. It's really quite effective, I think. Trouble is, you won't know till it dries. It's always the way. Red's quite often an awful colour to try and paint. Get it to cover. Usually you have to put a white primer down first. Well, you've got to remember though, all of this is being hidden deep inside the cockpit. So it's not easy to see in the first place. So probably the only time you'll ever see these bits is when I crash the model and all the bits are scattered around the runway. But anyway, at least the parts are finished. And it's with a sigh of relief I realise I've actually managed to cover the parts, and there we go, we're out. You can see the effect that the pre-shading with black has had, and I think that's quite nice. But we'll see when it dries. It's the telltale. Alright, if you're interested in seeing how I clean a brush, I'll keep the tape running. Basically, I pour water into the nozzle. I have one of these brush cleaning stations which allows me to simply spray straight into the bottle. And also, while I'm doing this, I whiz around the inside with a Q-tip, cotton bud, and some more water. Another quick go. This time I give it a bit more swirling. This Tamiya paint can be a bit awkward when it dries. So even though it's, you know, the area around the top has only just been left there, it can be a real pain to get rid of. So just exercise the valve. Get right down in the bottom there, give it a bit of a stir. See, on the most part it's going. There we go. Now what I like to do, take the end off the gun, watch out for the little bit doesn't fall out the middle. There's a droplet there, let's get rid of that. The cup will come off. You can see a little bit more stuff in there, let's get that out. A little bit of black in there from the previous run as well, so that's worth getting it out. You can still see some red in there. Right, so then if you open the back of the brush, take the pressure off it. It's a little locking thing that allows the valve to move, or allows the needle to move, I should say. So I pull the needle out very gently. Give it a wipe. You usually find there's a ridge, dried paint. Okay, this one's proving difficult to remove, and that is red, so that's the colour that I've only just put in, so it just shows you how quickly paint build-up occurs. And you can't see it, but right on the very tip, and this is a really fine needle, it's a little bit of red. You've got to be really careful you don't bend the needle. Bending the needle, that's not good. Should now be able to get just a little bit in there, but not a great deal. See if I can get that last bit of red that I can see down in there. There we go, that's got it. And now we're nice and clean. So the needle can go back in. Thread it through. Don't lock it at this time. Let's put it back in the stand so I can see a little bit more. Needs a bit of a wipe out there. That was probably altering the pattern. So although it was spraying fine, it would have sprayed better if I'd cleared that out. So I think that was where the first load of red that I put on was a bit dry, and when you spray paint a little dry, it tends to collect in the nozzle. So there we go, it's that bit done. Now you'll see the cup is also a bit of a mess. So for that I like to use some X20A, which is actually thinners. Not thinners, you know, are nasty thinners, but they're thinners, the Tamiya thinners. So you find it just dissolves the Tamiya paint really easily. So I don't know what's in it, because it's supposed to be a water-based paint, but whatever's in it, in this Tamiya thinner, cuts through the dried on paint. So I don't use it for just regular cleaning. I use water initially, and because it's a lot cheaper than the Tamiya thinners, and I'm a cheapskate. And there we are. There we have it. Pop can go back on the top of that, and this section here, which is in two parts, goes back on there. Remember, we've not tightened the back, so it can go in as far as it likes. Snip it up, pull that back, and then forward till it touches, and then lock it. Just to be sure, another little drop water. Now, remember when I said if it spits topwards, it's that, it's not tight enough. And we've got a little bit of red coming out, which is interesting. And there we go, it's running clear. And there you have it. That's how you clean it afterwards. Just having a look at this pre-shading, and it's actually coming up a lot darker than I was hoping. So I think we're going to need to put another coat of red on. It's not shiny either, which is disappointing. Yeah, so even that's not really very shiny. So we may have to find another way to shine it. I want the black to shine as well, so it's a nice effect, but it's not quite right. So I think we need to find a way to put a shiny coat on the top. Okay, that's for now. Red, I think.